I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about UFC welterweight contender Kevin Holland claims he could smell weed while in the Octagon at UFC 287 in Miami, Florida. Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier respond. UFC Kevin Holland welterweight contender Kevin Holland claims he could smell weed while in the Octagon at UFC 287. Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, and John Anik have responded to those claims. It was at UFC 287 this past weekend that Kevin Holland got back in the win column with a brutal third round stoppage over Santiago Ponzinibbio. Kevin Holland had lost two in a row. Coming into UFC 287, his last loss was Hamza Chimaev and Wonderboy Thompson, respectively. But Kevin Holland put that all behind him with a win Saturday night versus Ponzinibbio. It was during the welterweight bout that Kevin Holland could be heard claiming to be smelling cannabis in the crowd. The UFC broadcast team, Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, and John Anik laughingly supported that they too, could smell weed in the venue while giving the play-by-play. Hold on. Apparently, the comment occurred uh, around the 4 minute mark of round one and went like this. Cormier overheard Holland say to Ponzinibbio, so hold on, he's fighting Ponzinibbio, and he asked Ponzinibbio, "You smell weed?" Oh goodness. Anik and Joe Rogan laughed and asked, "Is that what he said to Cormier?" To which Cormier responded, "Yeah, that's exactly what he said to Ponzinibbio." And Joe Rogan obviously says, "I do smell it." And Daniel Cormier says, "Yeah, I smell it also. I do smell it also. Nothing like having a commentary in your with your opponent while fighting in Octagon." Apparently, Ponzinibbio obviously didn't respond to Holland's question. Perhaps he was more focused on the battle at hand, even though he lost. That's kind of interesting. It was it. I don't. I mean, what can the UFC do in these events, right? I'm pretty sure smoking is allowed in all of these stadiums, especially in Florida, right? That people are going to be smoking. I'm a little bit surprised that Kevin Holland is the only person who said anything about it. I haven't heard anyone else say anything about it. So I don't know what that's about. Joe Rogan did confirm that he could smell it, and Daniel Cormier also confirmed that he could smell it. That's interesting. But it seems like besides those three, I don't know what John Anik said, but besides those three, it wasn't like a issue anywhere else. Like I didn't hear any other fighter, no reporter asked. I don't think any reporter even asked Kevin Holland about if he could smell marijuana. It feels like this is kind of just said like literally during the fight, and since then like literally nothing. I don't know. Obviously I'm extremely 420 friendly, and so I wouldn't have a problem with the smell, obviously in the arena. And when I went into the weigh-ins here in Las Vegas, people were putting, putting some stuff in the air. But I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I think at this point, right? I think it's just kind of not of a big. It's just not a big deal when you go to these events. I know a lot of musicians make that comment when they're on stage. They say, this place, the whole place smells like weed, basically. So like in the NBA, that you can't smoke in like the NBA. I'm pretty sure in baseball stadiums and football stadiums, but it seems like this is more of a it doesn't even seem like it's an MMA issue. It just seems like it's a one-off issue. Maybe people were smoking during Kevin Holland's fight, or in other fights people weren't smoking. But real quick, Joe Rogan did admit that he smelled weed during the conversation that Kevin Holland was have. But like I said, when I saw the post fight press conferences, I don't remember hearing any reporter asking Kevin Holland. I don't remember any reporter asking Dana White or Joe Rogan saying anything about it. But let me know your opinion of this story. If you were to go to an MMA event, have you smelled marijuana before? And would you mind? I personally would not mind if I smelled some marijuana at a UFC event at all. But I'm Jason, UFC. Today we had a story about Kevin Holland claimed he could smell marijuana, weed, 420, Mary Jane. While he was in Octagon at UFC 287, Joe Rogan confirmed that he could smell it too. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.